Hello and welcome once again to the wonderful the wonder-filled world of the Dr. Zeero Xiron Free Magic Secrets Show, where we investigate all forms of magic and we talk about social and political issues, and we talk about the new book I just put out, and talk about all this really dope, super bomb ass music I've been pushing out because I learned how to use AI to my advantage of pushing some stuff out. And if you noticed, I've been posting a lot of songs about just, I don't know, silly beefs people have and silly stuffs. And, I put out a song yesterday called Witch Talker, which is about, it's not about anyone in particular, right? It's just the idea, the concept of some like black magician guru guy on YouTube who gets fed up with YouTube because he's bored. He wants to invade Witch Talk and show up and peddle his views there. And that's it. It's just like, I'm jumping ship and I'm going to Witch Talk and I'm going to be a Witch Talker. So it's just, and then I did another song based on, I saw this video the other day and I wanted to comment about it. It's going to kind of be what the video is about, but I did a song called Bloodletting Bonanza. And it's just about the use of blood in ritual when you do specifically towards trying to connect with a deity or a demon or one would say a daemon or some kind of supernatural being or anything, and you bloodlet to like show it as an offering or to increase your bond with the entity now communicating with you. And there's guys like me and other people out there who just feel the practice is maybe unnecessary or just think it's a joke or just are completely against it and see it just as self-harm and don't get whatever. So I did a general song called Bloodletting Bonanza just about the topic. And again, it's not, if people want to do that, they're grown adults, whatever. People are free to gawk at it or think whatever they want about it if they don't agree with it or just whatever. So the thing I want to say was I saw this video where it was like basically, one guy does ritualistic poking of the knuckles, that kind of stuff. He's not like self-harm, slice yourself to pieces, pushing that. He's just something he does. And this Christian guy made a video just like, oh, you're a slicer and this, and you're going to drive people to suicide or to self-harm and blah, 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 blah. And he just did a critical video, just, some Christian guy in Australia or whatever, I think is where he was from. And then one of the, Become a Living God guys brought him on his channel to have a debate about the issue because the guy had slandered a couple of these occult black magician guys, saying they're dumb and like whatever, threw some names out there and like basically brought this guy on to try to like defeat him and make him apologize for his standpoint. And you have to understand, from my perspective, it's an amusing spectacle to watch because I don't believe in Christianity at all, and I don't really believe in what Become a Living God guys are ultimately pushing. Again, I'm not telling anyone what to do with their life, but I'm free to have my own opinions on the matter. And you bring some like a Christian guy on your show, he's gonna give Christian talking points and start rattling a bunch of kooky nonsense. I don't feel the need to go on anyone's show, nor do I need to apologize because I've very vocally declared, like, I think EA is a big goofball. I have a huge list of reasons that I can give you why I think he's a goofball. I think if you just objectively look at it, I think goofball is a good word. You can do what I would see as dumb things or say dumb things without being necessarily a dumb human being. And, that's just my opinion. And, I don't care if anybody gets rattled and like this whole thing. Again, I'll not, I think EA is, how can I put it like this? Like, I don't hate him. I like to tease him a little bit and kick him in the nuts a little bit and give him a little bit of shit because, I'm another person in the magical world, and I'm just kind of messing with him a little, I mention him every once in a while because I do believe he's a big goofball. And that's my opinion. And I'm hardly alone in thinking that he's a goofball. The whole magical underground, if you did a big vote and said, is this man a goofball or not? And everybody got to vote, and with all the information laid beside them, I think that my opinion would be of the majority opinion, examining all the evidence and whatnot. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. See, the thing is, like, it's watching this debate from my standpoint, I don't really believe that this infernal divine is real. I don't really believe in deities. I have a more of a atheistic sort of view, to be honest. Because I talk about, now I wanted to be clear because I've brought up, I said non-Abrahamic monotheist in a bizarre way that maybe you weren't thinking about. My standpoint is pretty simple. Everything that exists sprang from nothingness. So the creation itself is one half of things. The nothingness from which it sprang must be the other half. And both of these halves united are what I would consider, quote unquote, God to be. Whatever the intelligence behind the, if you can even call it intelligence, it's just a riddle. No, I don't know what the answer is. I don't pretend it is. I see something created the universe. And whatever that something is, that would be, my idea of kind of what God would be. But you're talking about the body of God, the cumulative. It'd be everything that ever existed and everything that is nothingness as well. Like everything, the entire map of everything as one cumulative whole. That's pretty much what I would view God as. It's just a big thing, right? And that's totally compatible with witchcraft as a nature religion, because nature is obviously part of the whole thing. It's everything is nature. Everything. It isn't just the grass and the trees and that which we can map out in our heads, such as a forest or whatever. The entirety of everything. And just like all, my opinion is that all the gods and goddesses that ever existed were all cooked up by humanity. And, they represent perhaps real forces of nature or spiritual, different psychologies, different areas of existence. Their emblems, their totems, their symbols, their avatars for a whole host of things, So I see the gods and goddesses and the deities and all the stuff, whatever. But when you talk about all this demonic stuff, now I'm someone who rejects Abrahamic religions. I just don't think any of it's real. So it's just, I feel like if I have to, if I'm defeating the chains of Yahweh and Jesus and Allah, and I want nothing to do with any of that stuff, and I don't think any of it's real, anything hooked to it is just gonna go down the drain as well. And that's also the concept of Satan, or a hierarchy, or demons, or any kind of infernal divine. And most of what you guys are after in the entities you claim to be working with are hooked to Abrahamic mythology, or they were deities from old tribes in the Middle East, different cultures and that didn't exactly survive, and old religions that died out and such. None of this is new, and a lot of those names were appropriated in Abrahamic mythology, of course. And what was a god to one people ended up demonic something or other through the Abrahamic faith. So there's nothing new here. But my point is just throw it all out. You know what I mean? If you're gonna ditch the Abrahamic stuff. Like, I don't understand. I don't really get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't. So my whole point is that, watching this debate from perspective of like mine, it's just like, I don't believe in anything either one of them are saying. And, that's where I'm at. So if you want to talk about why, because this is like, it doesn't matter who raises any objections to the opinions of Dr. Zeero. I'm not going to show up on anybody's show to defend me saying that so-and-so has goofy positions and goofy ideas. See, and there's also that topic everybody wants to get into, and they talk about, what happened in the UK and stuff. And, it's really clear, like, that Matthew, he didn't want it to happen, and he didn't directly, inspire it. The thing is, like, crazy will always find a way. And a crazy person is going to gravitate wherever the crazy leads them. And it just so happened that the Bog stuff was like the number one source for learning about all this sort of stuff. So it was very easy for him to find and then acquire the stuff for. So, this dude acted on his own behalf. Everybody knows that. So, like, again, I'm not claiming that, but the truth is also, though, there's no lucifuge, right? Lucifuge is completely imaginary. There's no fucking lucifuge. Like, there's a lucifuge Rofocal that appears in that cheesy grimoire at his bunk, and then before that, lucifuge, not as Rofocal, just lucifuge, appears in the 3 books of occult philosophy by Agrippa, which is the main source that all this shit is coming from, because lucifuge is listed as the archdemon of Saturn in the section talking about the Sephirot in the Kabbalah section. And if you look for it, you'll find it. You'll know what I'm talking about. Chances are you have this book on your shelf, so you should just look it up. So that's the origin of lucifuge right there. Nobody knows where Agrippa got his source. It's the first time it ever appears. So, that's it. You got to talk about origins. You got to talk about facts. And nowhere in any historical or religious literature is there a lucifuge appearing until Agrippa just pops up and he's like, hey, here's this. And nobody knows where he got it from. So, when you're going to start ritualistically working with something, everything seems to say it's like a myth. It just seems like it's probably some Christianized something he picked up. So my point is that, if you research this, like I just said, and you find the basis of where it's coming from, you realize it's bunk, right? And just like EA didn't do that at all. None of these guys did that. They're like, let's all make this big compendium to this lucifuge demon, and we'll all yeehaw. Let's just do it. And when you put trash like that into the world, it's you plant seeds. When you release a book, you are intentionally planting seeds. And when you push garbage like that into the world, a crazy person's going to get their hands on it. And you might not have been thinking in advance that, there's this kooky guy in London looking to do something crazy, and now I'm going to get forcefully involved in this because of the big hoopla that is created. There's a responsibility when you put garbage into the world, you beget garbage into the world. And when you're a book that's just built on just lucifuge is a lie, dude. It's not real. It's completely phony. It's just the phoniest baloneyest thing I could ever think of as far as like all the left-hand stuff. I mean, you want to work with entities or whatever, I get it. Like, and I've said it before, just because you're calling out to Belial or Belphegor or whatever else doesn't mean that's what actually will show up, if such a thing is possible, because we try not to be cranky on this show and talking about the invisible world, but seems like an invisible world sure is happening. And such entities, if they exist, are vampiric in nature, and they're like psychic leeches, and they're just going to tell you whatever you want to hear so that they can feed off you. And I feel like if anything, if any of these experiences are real that people are having, and the left hand is most likely for that reason. So yeah, as far as the book is concerned, I'm having a really frustrated moment because Amazon is really jerking me around. Basically, I went for broke and got some gift cards so that I could just like pay it all off easily. And then they're like making a big hoopla about that. And I keep having to send them more information. And I fear my book situation is going to get messed up. Yep. Isn't that how it always goes? So, I don't know. That's just what's on my mind right now. I'm trying to get back to it. But okay, see, why is EA goofy? Well, you know, I picked up his Azazel book. I saw it used somewhere. And most of the information in it is like quote unquote channeled. And if you don't know what that means, it means that a person is receiving messages from an invisible source, showing them things and telling them information to write down in the book. So it's prophecy, right? It's prophecy. And it's awfully delulu. Because what you're asking me to believe is that basically EA is like anointed and chosen by these entities to be their, I don't know, their go-to guy on Earth, and that the messages that he channels from these entities are therefore legitimate. It's like you know, EA's just a guy, right? You're like putting him on this weird pedestal where he has all these super abilities. Okay. So number one, you know, you don't find it like extremely, I don't know, overconfident to have belief in this. So like just from that standpoint alone, like anything that he's put out as channeled, like you should be speculating anything that is channeled whatsoever, right? And you know, so let's walk it back a little bit here. We'll go to let's just cut to like where EA was right at the time YouTube canceled him. And while this story with the UK stuff is finally like breaking into the media and he's finally getting reprimanded and he finally gets popped off of YouTube. And okay, so tell me, like, okay, so just erase EA from your mind and just get like a blank sheet of paper and then put these facts down. And let's just pretend you never heard of EA before. You don't know who he is or anything. It's just a blank slate, all right? So let's just zero state it right from the beginning. So you're walking down the street and this dude just walks up to you, right? And he's got like, you know, his black wizard guy hood on. And all crazy looking with his long hair down and just like all like, yeah, I'm woo! Totally like all like jazzed up. So he just like walks out from like a parking lot, walks up to you on the street. And you're like, what's up, dude? And he's like, hi, I'm me. And you're like, okay, all right, whatever. And he's like, here's what I'm all about. And then this guy that you never met before tells you that he's been working with the 9 demonic gatekeepers for 2 years straight. And that he is their living representative on Earth, and that they live inside him, and that if you want to participate in this, he is able to demonically possess you and transfer their demonic power because they live inside him, right? And that he's like a man Lilith, right? And he can pop out these demons and also infect you with them. You know what I mean? And that, you know, to get demonically blessed by him, like the demonic pope, right? it only costs a couple $1,000s, right? And he like waves his hand and does like a little ritual and like sends you a YouTube clip or whatever, a video clip, you know, so you can watch it as many times as you'd like and perform the ritual again as many times as you'd like or whatever. And tells you all this stuff, and then he's like, all right, and when you join and you are demonically possessed by the demons that live inside me, you get this special amulet that I made inside my temple, and that you get to wear it all the time, and it holds the essence of the demon who now lives inside you through me. You just think this guy was fucking sky high on crank, dude. You would just be like, you're fucking crazy, get away from me. You wouldn't want anything to do with the guy. It sounds absolutely preposterous. And not only does it sound preposterous, you realize that this crazy dude is basically like formed his own cult, and he's trying to like get you to join it by wearing these weird amulets and be demonically possessed through him, in which he is the leader. He is the spiritual guru. He is the top dog of this hierarchy that he's creating. So take all of those, what I just explained there on a blank sheet of paper, and you know what I mean? Like, if that isn't a cult, I don't know what a cult is. And it doesn't matter if the guy doing it doesn't think he's running a cult. It doesn't matter if his friends don't think he's running a cult. That's what a cult is. You know what I mean? So it's like, by the time that YouTube actually pulled the plug on his channel, he had become unbeknownst to him, he didn't even understand that he had become a cult leader. And then the friends, like, I don't think that any of these people, they're probably going to hear this video and get angry with me, but you know, you guys, you know, say like JS and VK and Behemoth X or whoever else, all these people who might, you know, catch this, you guys, like, I mean, if some dude just walked up to you off the street and you didn't know who he was and he just fucking told you that, would you take him serious for 2 seconds? No. Fuck no. You can't tell me that. And it just happened to be EA, your buddy, who you've known for years, and then he starts going off on this way, and it's like, okay, that's just his thing. Okay, but at some point, you got to do like a timeout and be like, dude, this is really out there. What's up? So the whole point is that, like, he's got this whole. Not only does this guy walk up to you from a parking lot telling you all this shit, he's like, guess what? I run my own media and publication company, and I have dozens of books on every demon like you could possibly think of, and this and this and this, and like just the whole thing, you know. And in the very last video, when YouTube cut the feed and it went to black and they nuked him, I was watching as it happened. And what did he do? He had spent all year creating this crazy alchemite machine with his own blood added to all the mercury, salt, and sulfur and all this stuff with an organite pyramid kind of thing, and all this radionics shit connected to it, and all these snow channel TVs going off, all this crap that he hooked together in his, you know, this wild science experiment. And then he flipped it on, and he's like, now I activate your amulets, and now we are all one. So how is that not a cult? And then he gets canceled by YouTube, gets flushed off, and then he just decides not to talk about that anymore. And then furthermore, to add to the goofiness of this, I guess he just got bored of that angle and stopped wanting to do it, because I've never seen him talk about the amulets ever again. I never seen him talk about blessing people with the 9 demonic gatekeepers, because I've seen videos of his on Odyssey, and I've kind of paid attention to what he's been doing ever since he got booted off YouTube. And it's like he just kind of like, so he went way out there with all the stuff, and then he retracted, and then he stopped talking about it. And then the other thing that is extremely goofy here that all you folks need to like really catch on to is sometime after like all this shit went down and he was already booted off YouTube and all this stuff, if I'm correct, well, maybe it was before, you know, think about, maybe it was before, but it's when he swore allegiance to Zelmoxis. And that's an important thing we need to talk to, because that means talk about, because that means that like EA is the pupil of like Dracula, basically. That's what Zelmoxis is. They say that Zelmoxis, like when you have those, like they find the like mummified bodies that are still alive, sometimes in Tibet and stuff like that, and the skin tissue is like still living somehow. like someone just walked into a cave and went into a crouching position and just like slowly mummified, and like their body stayed alive and their soul leaves their body, right? That's supposedly what Zalmoxis is. Somewhere in like the Carpathian Mountains is a cave, and that dude is like, he's mummified there, still living, and he's like the ghost. He's the astral ghost of the mummified thing, and he lurks upon Eastern Europe. I think that was the story. If I'm embellishing it or some shit, like it's a pretty cool idea for a horror movie. But the point is, like, the Lord of the Undead, you know, like Zalmoxis, like the real Dracula or whatever. He swore to be like that thing's Renfield, you know, and he signed up for that. And he's been a vampire ever since. I mean, he was a psychic vampire before, and he was in you know, all in the vampirism, but he went the whole hog, and he hooked up with that thing. Now, again, if Zalmoxis is just, again, another silly urban legend, you know, it really doesn't mean anything. But, you know, mentally, EA is the new vampire Batman. He's a vampire Batman. And I hope people, like, recognize that. Now, you know, I don't know how the 9 demonic gatekeepers would feel about switching allegiance, right? Because you got to pick one or the other, right? Why the fuck? It sounds like a mobster in a movie that's like playing all the different angles, you know? That's what it sounds like to me. So I feel like I have stated enough of why I think EA is goofy and his views are goofy, and when the shit he puts out is goofy. And again, like, goofy people that push garbage and push dumb ideas still can have, you know, really good ideas now and again, and still can get things accomplished. And I want to also be very direct. Like, I don't hate EA. I don't hate him. I just think he's misguided and lost in his own fantasy, and it's detrimental to him, and he doesn't see it. He doesn't understand why, and he's going to keep going off on his path forever until maybe one day he turns around and goes, "Oh shit, what have I been doing all this time?" You know. But that's not me. That's on him, dude. I don't care. So anybody can, like, get angry as they want with me for expressing this view. Now, so yeah, I said I wrote a couple songs about all these little minor beefs. But I mean, that's, yeah, my opinion. Was Christian guy right about what he was saying on that broadcast? Well, number one, like, Christian guy, I mean, I get why you guys are doing the poking with the lancet or digging into the knuckle or the simple bloodletting. Like, I get why you guys are doing that, and I understand, like, your viewpoints, and in the end, you're a grown adult. You can do whatever you want. I just look at it something like it's unnecessary. I don't see why you gotta go there. I mean, I get why you got to go there, but I don't. So, I mean, there you go. And, but this Lucifuge shit is corny, dude. It's fucking corny. There's no Lucifuge. And I've said it before on the show, like, if you're trying to, like, contact, like, a demon or a god or a goddess or whatever, but you're first approaching Lucifuge because they're the Lord of the Pacts, and you have to, like, you know, go through him to, like, get to the next step. You're not getting anywhere because Lucifuge is a broken toy. And there you go. As far as the one dude brought up, he was trying to, like, sacrifice a chicken for the Christian guy. And he's like, "Oh, so let me, I'll just this and this." I don't really understand animal sacrifice either. I mean, I understand the concept of why you're doing it. I just feel like if you're gonna kill some animal, you better fucking eat it. If you're gonna go there, devour it. You know. Ultimately, there isn't even dignity in that because you could be vegetarian. You don't need to kill animals. You can just leave them be. Ultimately, you can change your ways. You could just, go vegetarian, and that's something I do. I feel like I am a monster because I eat chickens. It makes me feel gross all the time. And I don't really want to eat animals. I try to eat vegetarian as much as I can. But again, blah blah blah, yakety smackety. It's just the whole vibe of this black magic left hand stuff. Like, I just feel like, again, like, it's my opinion, like, is that a lot of this shit you're doing is like totally unnecessary, and I feel like it's just like you want to be edgy to be edgy. You got to take it to the place, and it's unnecessary. So you can sit there and piss and moan about what I'm saying here, but
superiority. However, you must always first appease me. The mortal's price is to poke